This episode is dedicated to Sergeant First Class Michael Cathcart of Bay City, Michigan. Operation Pathfinder Navigating PTSD, episode number 6, Your PTSD Toolbox. In this intel briefing, you'll receive knowledge and resources to help you today in your fight against PTSD. Hello everyone, I'm your host Ben Williams, veteran and advocate. PTSD is the toughest enemy you'll ever face. This relentless adversary will destroy you from the inside out until it has taken you early in life. He's determined and relentless. However, Operation Pathfinder's mission is to be a part of the solution when it comes to helping you with PTSD. You'll hear from fellow veterans, survivors, and professionals who have been there and understand. Each episode will provide you with the intel of purpose and hope to keep you on the move. The VA created a program called the PTSD Toolbox. You can check out more information about the PTSD Toolbox in my show notes. The PTSD Toolbox is a 6-week training course, once a week for 6 weeks, designed to cover different aspects and topics, as well as symptoms of PTSD, such as anger, anxiety, depression, or sleep problems. The first class, or the first week, is designed to help you understand your enemy, the diagnosis, the history behind PTSD, biological and psychological responses to trauma. Also, you'll get a better understanding of PTSD's symptoms and lay out a goal for healing and moving forward. Irregardless, the mind is in a constant state of hypervigilance, fight or flight, and this is where PTSD wants to keep you. The longer you're focused and stay in this mindset, the better his chances are for success, destroying your life, taking your life, and hurting everyone that loves you. The second class will explain how each tool is designed to help. The tools include deep breathing, mindfulness, progressive muscle relaxation, and imagery. Each tool is a building block onto the other. And many times there are multiple assaults going on from PTSD. Having the knowledge to understand the proficiency of each tool will provide you the needed and immediate results in the early stages of your war with PTSD. By week 3, you'll learn how to use the tools and resources for restful sleep. You'll come to understand the importance of sleep. This sleep module increases that understanding of the sleep cycle, what might affect your sleep, mind-body habits for good sleep, sleeping smarter, and help mitigate nightmares. Some of the immediate options for better sleep would be turning off your computer devices, iPad, iPhones, whatever you use to play your video games or scroll the internet. Turn off the TV or minimize active distractions at least an hour before you want to go to sleep. Some people have found prayer and meditation to be very effective in calming your active mind prior to sleep. Some warriors find having white noise or soft music playing prior to sleep is another relaxing tool to relax your overactive mind. A sleep-deprived mind creates an overly emotional mood mindset. The next tool of the PTSD Toolbox is Mood Module for depression, anxiety, and anger. And in week 4, you'll develop a better understanding of depression, anxiety, and anger, and what might be some of the factors which contribute to these emotions. With PTSD, your mind is in a perpetual state of negativity. The negativity breeds fear, anger, and depression. And being aware of these emotions will prepare you to be more mindful and understanding of the situations a lot better. Depression is often described as fog, unwilling, or the lack of desire to interact or enjoy life. Recognizing this feeling is a major win for you. By recognizing and acknowledging how you feel is an awareness that is masked by PTSD. Anger. Anger is easy to recognize, but very, very hard to control. Your mind and your body are working overtime, and the lack of sleep is a key contributor to anger. Most people's decision-making capabilities are driven by two factors: either intellectual or emotional drivers. Anger is an emotional symptom. And once you recognize your anger, you've taken the first step towards cognitive behavior therapy, otherwise known as CBT. And you can check out my show notes for more information about CBT. CBT helps train your mind in a way for you to diagnose the anger situation and develop a practical response to that trigger. And as we discussed in episodes 3 and 4 of this podcast, you'll know that PTSD invades your mind specifically after a moral wound, dealing with grief or guilt, as well as various other psychological options. By understanding how these factors affect you, will better help you understand and recognize your situation. The hardest thing a warrior has to do is to forgive oneself. Guilt, grief, and moral wounds are festering sores that often linger until you forgive yourself. And in week 6, you will build upon your new tools and start down a path of forgiveness. I am really guilty of this, and I'm sure you are too, but we as warriors are harder on ourselves than anyone else in this world can ever be. And PTSD knows this, and using it to his advantage is his number one trademark. Take away his advantage, and you will take away one of his primary weapons against you. Knowing your enemy's tactics and weapons is a great way to combat his effects on you. Unlike other fights, this battle is all within your control. Being aware of how he attacks your mind will be your greatest advantage. This coward only has one mission, and that is to destroy you at all cost. Knowing the methods used by this adversary will provide you a blueprint for a successful counterattack. And these 6 toolbox weapons should be practiced with consistency and persistence every day. Becoming efficient is the key to winning these raids on your mind. Do not allow anyone or anything control your mind, your thoughts, your feelings. Do not give in or feel you deserve this torture blitzes on your mind. You're better than this. I need you to fight. We'll get through this invisible war together, folks. Now, you're equipped with the necessary intel to advance towards your enemy and take control of your life. This enemy, he is no joke, folks. PTSD Toolbox is a great beginner's guide accessories for your arsenal. The toolbox is a go-to when needing to get your compass pointing north again. Before I wrap up this episode, I want to take time to honor a veteran who wrote a blank check in defense of our great nation and paid the ultimate sacrifice in order for me to continue to do what I love. This Green Beret was from Bay City, Michigan. He served 2 tours of duty overseas. Sergeant First Class Michael Cathcart died of wounds received during a combat mission in Afghanistan. Please take a moment to subscribe to this free podcast. You can check us out on iTunes, Google Play, SoundCloud, depending on what phone or device you use. Also, we have a Facebook page, Instagram, and YouTube. The more subscribers, downloads, and testimonials we'll get help build our army of warriors and take back our lives from this deadly enemy. The more subscribers, the more reviews will help fuel our machine and be a beacon for other warriors that are struggling out there in silence. Our warriors, our brothers and sisters, do not need to be alone, should not be alone. And this is a radio transmission to everybody out there that are suffering in silence. We're here to help, and we're going to get you through this. In the next episode, you'll meet a spouse whose perspective and insight will help shine a light on the unsung heroes, the spouses, when fighting off PTSD. But until next time, keep on the move. Operation Pathfinder podcast is based on my views and experience with PTSD, but will be as evidence-based as possible. I welcome any comments, suggestions, or corrections of errors. Take no money from drug, device, or medical company. Always consult your physician or therapist in any medical or mental health issues that you may be having. This entire disclaimer also applies to any guests or contributors to the podcast. Under no circumstances shall Operation Pathfinder, any guest or contributors to the podcast, or any employees, associates, or affiliates of Operation Pathfinder be responsible for any damages arising from the use of this podcast.